I need to talk to Abigail's 3 brothers. Can we cast a summoning spell again to speak to their ghosts?
I'm afraid not, Murphy. The ghosts of Bellvoirs Manor could only be summoned because our spirits were trapped here and hadn't moved on to the spirit realm. The Bellvoirs brothers were murdered months before the wedding. Each has long since moved on, however reluctantly. It's very rare for someone to come back from the other side. It can happen, but I don't think there is much chance of that here.
How can we make contact with the 3 brothers?
We need to conduct a séance for each of the brothers, a way to contact them in the spirit realm and learn how and where they were killed. But each spirit is attuned differently. I will need you to gather some objects in order to contact them.
What do we need to contact Yardley Belmore?
Yardley was a man of leisure, accustomed to the finer things in life. As his portrait shows, we must read tea leaves to contact him. You must bring me a used teacup.
What do we need to contact Xavier Belmore?
Xavier was a man of the world, a traveler across the globe. As in his portrait, it is a globe that we will need to contact him, but one made of glass, a crystal ball.
What do we need to contact Cecil Belmore?
Cecil was a man of letters, skilled with the written word. Like the papers you see in his portrait, to contact him, you must bring me a spirit board, a sheet of letters through which Cecil may communicate.
How can I find those seance items when I can't even leave the house? I don't even know what's trapping me here.
That would be Abigail.
Abigail is keeping me trapped in the house?
She was. A last desperate act to keep you here and free her from Rackham's curse. Return to the front doors, Murphy, and they will now open for you. Scour the island, search the manor, and bring those 3 items back to me, and we can begin to locate the 3 brothers.
I'll start looking right away.
Good luck. And hurry. Rackham will soon know what you're trying to do. And unlike the other ghosts here, his powers are no longer confined to the house. Just one more thing before you go. I have something that may help you.
A necklace? What can I do with this?
Return it to whom it belongs. Now go. You do not have much time, and yet the mysteries of our entire island await.
It was time to test what Madame Planchette had told me, and see if I really could leave the house. So it was true. Right now I was living my very own ghost story, with a household of people who needed my help and a villainous phantom who had to be stopped. With Bellvoirs Manor unlocked, the entirety of the house and island were now mine to explore. Somewhere out there were the Bellvoirs brothers' 3 keys. My first task, to gather a crystal ball, a spirit board, and some tea leaves. I couldn't do that.
Oh, it's you again.
Mallory, what are you doing here on the Belmore estate? I thought all the locals were too scared to wander around here.
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm having a tea party for my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
How cute. And what are you talking about with your new doll?
Our strategy for conquering mortal civilization.
Right.
It's rude not to introduce yourself, you know.
Mallory, have you been practicing ventriloquism?
Are you calling me a dummy?
You can talk?
I'm a head. Talking is one of the few things I can specialize in.
I didn't know that.
You didn't ask. My name, now that you're listening, is Sir Edward Teddington, or as Miss Wisp here calls me,
Shrunken Ted.
You're not doing very much tea drinking at your tea party.
I couldn't get a handle on the physiology of it. No arms, hands, or esophagus makes this a little trickier than it used to be.
And I am drinking it. Watch.
Not a fan?
Maybe it's an acquired taste.
But an important one to acquire. Tea was the fuel of the British Empire.
Then maybe it would be better in a gas tank.
Mallory was handling the teacup with the tentativeness of a toddler being given castor oil. May I have a cup of tea?
Nope.
Now, Mallory, what were we saying about manners?
Oh, yes, right. How do I put this delicately? I'm afraid this is a private engagement exclusively for the Sisterhood of Darkness.
Precisely. Remember, we may be planning on enveloping the world with a new totalitarian empire led by yourself as queen, but that's no reason to be impolite. Manners cost nothing. However, in this case, it is a private engagement.
Could I have your teacup if you're not drinking it?
I am drinking it! Well, I would if it didn't taste so bitter.
Mallory, you shouldn't be inside the Bellvoirs estate. Don't you know about the disappeared wedding?
You're asking a little girl about murder, black magic, and broken hearts?
Sorry, I don't want to give you nightmares.
Are you kidding me? I love this stuff! I wrote a paper on it last semester that prompted a parent-teacher intervention.
So, Ted, that whole time I was carrying you around in my pocket...
Picking me up and stuffing me inside your vest without even a good evening? That's the living for you nowadays. Rude.
I'm very sorry. I've just never encountered a shrunken head that could talk to me before.
Maybe you have, and you just never introduced yourself.
I suppose, but I can't go around introducing myself to every inanimate object that I'm carrying on the off chance that they're supernaturally possessed, can I?
Did you just call me an object? That's objectification right there.
How did you end up as a shrunken head, Ted?
Can you believe this, Mallory? Asking about physical impairments just as brazenly as you like.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was a sore subject.
Well, I'll tell you anyway. Me and the old boys were embarking on a race to the Caribbean, known as the Coconut Rally. 14 days, 14 islands, with only what you can carry on your back to sustain you. It was all going so well, until day 9, when I was told to seek out a tribe of pygmies. Perhaps I got a bit lost, because the village I found was populated by villagers of average height.
Didn't that clue you in that you were in the wrong place?
I thought maybe they were just exceptionally tall pygmies. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, you know. They were a very welcoming people, filling me up on pork and bananas, a nice hot bath in a pot they hung over the fire. But it turns out they held a different philosophy when it comes to head placement and proportion. Still, no use grumbling. That's not the British way. Stiff upper lip. That's what we need.
Ted, how did you end up on Devil's Rock?
I was brought back here on a merchant ship by a strange man in a top hat who settled on me as a souvenir. Can you believe it? The indignity of being swapped and saying I was only worth 2 chickens.
I'd say at least 3.
Exactly.
And now you're helping a little girl take over the world, Ted?
Look, I was a little late getting in on the British Empire, and now its height has passed me by. I don't want to miss out again. This is my opportunity to get my foot on the ladder of a new attempt.
More like your chin on the ladder.
Very funny. You know, I have other interests too. You really need to get to know me as a person. I'm very well-rounded.
Of course you're round. You're just a head.
The jokes just keep coming, don't they?
Haven't you seen the Phantom?
The grumpy guy in the tall hat? Yeah, I've seen him through the windows of the house.
Doesn't he give you nightmares?
Sure does, but those are the kind of dreams I like.
Do you know Sebastian Bach?
Unfortunately.
Why didn't you tell me?
I did.
Okay, yes, you did, but didn't you think it was worth mentioning he was a ghost?
I didn't think you'd be interested. Most grown-ups just don't believe me.
So you can see ghosts?
Ugh, I wish I couldn't. Most of them don't shut up, wailing through the windows all the time. Sebastian's the worst, the booger-brained bighead. Thinks he knows everything.
But the ghosts weren't visible until I cast the summoning spell.
To you, maybe. I mean, they're a lot more visible now. They were just shadowy, glowy things before.
The fact that I conducted an occult spell seemed to be lost on her. Knowing what I did about her, she probably did the same every day before breakfast. It was Sebastian that made you get the tin boat. He altered the toy catalog.
I knew it! Well, that's it. He's going to the top of the hit list once I'm Queen of the Universe. If you see him, tell him Pock's in for a shock.
Well, I'll leave you two to your plans.
Long live the sisterhood!
Do you mind if I take this?
Good idea. You can be my butler.
I dunked the teaspoon into the molasses.
Then we bribe the kindergarteners and use them for espionage.
Shh, shh, shh. He's back.
What did you just put in my tea?
Try it now.
Careful, Mallory. It could be poisoned.
Does this dope look smart enough to brew poison?
Good point. You'd probably give it a taste test. Bottoms up, my girl. Drink on.
Hey, that tastes pretty good.
I thought you'd like it.
Sure did. I drank the whole cup.
Let me clear this away for you.
Good, butler. You shall be spared the dungeons.
Welcome back, Murphy McCallan. Take a seat.
I've brought you the tea leaves.
Wonderful. That will work to contact Yardley. Be quiet now, Murphy. I need to concentrate. Yardley Bellvoirs, heed our plea. Where was your life stolen from thee? I sense a crypt, deep below the ground, where Yardley, unknown to him, has been drugged. Among alcoves of the dead, Yardley is still alive as brick by brick. He is being entombed within the crypt. The drug may wear off, but he has no means of escape. Trapped! Look at the painting! Yardley's body is still bricked up inside that crypt. The sanctuary crypt. You must find a way inside. There is a tunnel, once used for safety, but now used for salvation. Something in Yardley's bedroom will help you.
As I descended back into the cellar, the lack of mechanical noise quickly revealed that the barrel lift was no longer working. Looking at the fuse box, it was clear to see why the barrel lift no longer moved. The fuse had blown, taking the small glass cover with it. With questionable regard for my own safety, I pulled the damaged fuse from its socket. Knowing the erratic the wine racks were largely bare. What few bottles remained were cracked and empty. I took the chamber pot back off the machine. I considered looking through the boxes, but doubted my immediate situation needed a set of matching crockery or monogrammed dish towels. I took one of the fireworks. The logo on the side revealed that it was called the Whizzer. I'd known a boy in elementary school with the same nickname. I considered there was nothing large that I needed to move. The chalkboard was blank, presumably waiting a decorative welcome for the infernal marriage of an evil phantom to his cursed bride. Life continued on in Dead Nettle. It's even with their predilection for local legend, I doubted they'd believe me if I told them.
Welcome back!
Would you be able to polish my brooch again?
Goodness me! What have you been doing with it?
Oh, you know, just the usual wear and tear.
I don't know how anyone does this much tearing while wearing. But hand it over and we'll shine her up.
With Jasper distracted, it was time for his fish to move into its new porcelain-throne home. Hopefully it didn't suffer any indignity at the change of residence, but then, being a goldfish, it would probably soon forget anyway.
Here you go. I've wrapped it in a little tissue paper this time so it doesn't get dirty again.
Thank you.
But really, sir, this many polishings in one night might be approaching my limit. I certainly understand the appeal of a good flash, but I don't know how many more times tonight I can cope with this.
Welcome back, Murphy McCallan. Take a seat.
Will this work as a crystal ball?
Considering our circumstances, we will have to make do. Xavier Bellvoirs, hear our cry! Where does your mortal body lie? I sense a cave on the island coast. Waves thrashing, wind howling, and two figures exploring its darkest depths. Xavier and Rackham. Rackham has lured Xavier here, promising an unparalleled expedition to the bold adventurer. But it's a trap. I sense Rackham fleeing the cave, leaving Xavier as the water rises and rises and rises. Look at the painting. Xavier's body still lies in that coastal cave. I feel much danger there, but you must get a boat and cross the sea to reach it. I sense something in Xavier's bedroom might help you locate it.
I reached up and took the map from the frame. As best as I could tell, this was a genuine pirate treasure map. The island I recognized as Devil's Rock, but what stood out to me was the large X in red ink on the southern coast, marked Crossbone Cove. At least I hoped it was ink. The machine looked ready to operate. All it needed was a blast from the tanks. I opened the tap on the gas tank. Nozzles hissed, a cloud of cold mist billowed out, and from the machine came a smattering of dry ice. Without some insulation, the dry ice would have evaporated within minutes. The tide was still high as I returned to the Causeway Beach, while the sands were now the purlieu of a rather strange gentleman jabbing at the rocks with a walking stick. I picked up the vacuum flask from the portable table. Returning to St. Juniper's Church, it was clear by the illuminated windows and the repetitive hum of a newly placed generator that the rum runners had made themselves at home.
Musket! Did you hear that?
Will you stop twitching, Morris? You're making me nervous.
Sorry, boss. I just don't know if we should be doing this.
Doing what?
Using a church for morally dubious activities. Theology lays out pathways and guidelines to keep us on the moral road to righteousness.
Did one of those barrels hit you on the head, Morris? Quit your belly aching. What's the worst that could happen?
I'm getting the spooks, boss. This church has a lot of dead people. What if they don't like us being in here?
Is that what you're worried about? Ghosts ain't real. Now hush up about it.
I don't know, boss. The scientific consensus on paranormal activity still seems to be inconclusive. I read a book about it last week, and it's really giving me the heebie-jeebies.
What have I told you about reading? It's no good for you. It gives you delusions of grandeur and indigestion.
Sorry, boss.
Just for the sake of argument, this book you was reading. What did it say about ghosts?
It said that there are 3 signs for detecting paranormal activity.
What's the first sign?
First, the temperature drops as the ghost's presence descends upon the locality.
Well then, until we start getting the chills, there ain't nothing to worry about.
Collected the dry ice in the flask. That would keep it from melting, at least for the time being.
I'm getting the shivers, boss. It feels like I got a brain freeze, and I ain't even slammed down a snow cone.
You don't got a brain to get froze. It is feeling chilly though, ain't it?
That's the first sign of ghosts, boss.
Don't be a crybaby. But, just for safety, what's the second sign of ghosts?
The ghost's presence begins to interfere with the electric fields, most commonly seen manifesting as flickering lights.
If flickering lights were what would scare the rum runners, it was time to do some rewiring. I turned the dial to redirect the electricity through the faulty fuse.
Boss! The lights are flickering!
That's gotta be a coincidence.
Or a sign of ghosts!
What did you say the third sign of paranormal activity was, Morris?
The tolling of a bell!
If the tolling of a bell was the third sign of ghostly activity, it was time to ring in the witching hour.
The bell!
A chill in the air. Flickering lights. The tolling of the bell.
Do you think it's...
Ghost! Run for your life! Start, you blasted car!
Why are we not moving, Musket?
Because out of that long line of automobiles on Delancey Street, you decided to steal something less reliable than a politician's promise! Start, you rust bucket!
It started, Musket.
There we go! And now, we floor it!
We crashed, Musket.
I can see that we crashed, Morris. Well, there's only one thing we can do.
What's that, boss?
Run for our lives!
The window is even more beautiful in person, adorning the altar below it like a crown. And that's when I noticed something. Below the window was a cross-shaped indentation in the wood that made me think something was missing. Taking the book, I realized it was an old Bible with a thicker layer of dust than a nudist's summer wardrobe. I pressed the indentation, but nothing happened. It seemed like it was meant for something specific. At the back of my mind, I had the notion I'd seen a crucifix of the same shape somewhere before. I picked up the starter crank from the jalopy seat. Deciding the jalopy was so beat up that a little more damage wouldn't be noticed, I cut open the stitch. I pulled the spring from the ripped seat cushion.
Oh, what a piece of junk! So much as a nudge and the whole thing locks up. Work, damn you!
That almost hit me.
Almost isn't good enough. A few inches over and we could have had a lovely headline about a gory workplace accident. Of course this happens right now, just what I need.
Maybe this will help?
What do you think you're doing?
I fixed it for you.
I'm going to need to recalibrate the whole thing now.
No need to say thank you.
You're lucky. There's something fishy about you, Murphy McCallan. I can smell a story on a person like rotten eggs in an egg salad. And currently it's the 4th of July summer picnic and someone forgot to put the bowl in the refrigerator last night.
I picked up the freshly printed sheet of paper. It was a typesetter's calibration sheet.
Welcome back, Murphy McCallan. Take a seat.
I found something that could be used as a spirit board.
Yes, that will work, even if it will take a lot of concentration on my part. Cecil Belmore, we now implore, where do you rest forevermore? I sense a hidden place. A laboratory known only to Cecil, a secret refuge for study and invention, and desperate attempts to reconcile science and the supernatural. He's been followed. Unknown to Cecil, someone lies in wait in the darkness and is about to look at the painting. Cecil's body lies in a hidden laboratory, and you must find it. Cecil never told anyone where he conducted his work, but in happier times he created a treasure hunt for his brothers, were they ever to seek him out. That is your lifeline, Murphy. Follow the trail of clues to reach that laboratory. I sense the first clue lies in Cecil's bedroom.
Is this the Bible you've been looking for?
My word! That it is, my boy! Oh, where did you find it?
Fallen down the side of a cabinet back in St. Juniper's church.
People do say they find faith in the most unexpected places, but down the side of furniture is certainly one of the most common. I'm most indebted to you. Is there anything I can give you to show my appreciation?
Actually, I did have my eye on that crucifix you're wearing.
Ah, are you looking for spiritual guidance, my child?
Absolutely. Particularly if it guides me to something hidden in St. Juniper's church.
Then I shall give it to you with my deepest thanks. Let it guide you to where you want to go. What a relief! My Bible returned to me. Why, if I hadn't gotten it back, we would have had to cancel the wedding.
The crucifix slid smoothly into the indentation, like the final piece in a jigsaw puzzle. Hello, my name's Murphy McCallan.
Hello, chum. Looking to hire a ferry?
Maybe?
Then come set sail with Crab Macready, when a ferry's really what you needy.
Crab's breath hit my face like a custard pie, a cloud of air reeking of cigarettes and stale beer.
Look, here's a promotional flag, so you can keep me in mind.
I'll treasure it.
Now, I can take you anywhere on the coast. Where are you looking to head to? Do you have a partner or an illicit liaison in mind? I do a very romantic sunset cruise.
Is this your ferry? It looks like it's held together with spit and glue.
That's right, but rest assured, my spit is remarkably viscous. You find yourself aboard the Creaky Crab 2. I am her captain, Crab Macready. I get most of my business ferrying over to the mainland when the tide's covered up the causeway.
Are you a member of the Captain's Club?
Oh, they banned me, those pompous buffoons. That Felix is full of himself.
What happened?
There used to be a club parrot called Squawkin' Hawkins, until he was taken away. Bird-napped, I'd say. See, I'm a big bird lover. They're very intelligent creatures, and I used to try to teach him poetry. Well, Felix Greer wasn't having none of that. I think he was getting jealous that the bird had more brains than him. He kicked me out. Well, I got a little upset, like anybody would. Words were exchanged, loudly, and he told me I wasn't welcome back. The cheek of it. Kicking me out when I'm a hard-working captain. That landlubber would get seasick using a washcloth.
Why do you like birds so much?
They're the sailors of the sky, even the ones that can't fly. You tell me, have you ever looked an emu in the eye and not felt a sense of kinship? Seen that look that says he wants to explore beyond the horizon?
I've never imagined an emu thinking anything different to that.
I love anything with a beak, except platypuses. Don't get me started on them. Now, I take it upon myself to look after the feathered friends on this island. Squawkin' Hawkins now lives on a perch on my balcony. I have a name for every seagull that flies over Dead Nettle. And I look after Doris.
Doris?
Doris the chicken, over at Baxter's Mill.
What happened to the Creaky Crab 1?
That's it over there, with its bow peeking out of the water. I was out in the bay last Mardi Gras and looked down into the inky depths. Honest to God, I saw a mermaid staring back at me. I rushed back into Dead Nettle with such fervour I forgot to slow the engine once we reached the docks.
Was it really a mermaid you saw?
Nah, turned out I'd forgot to take my wig off from the costume contest that night, and I'd just seen my own reflection.
I'd like to hire your ferry.
Sure, give me a map of where you want to go and I'll see if I can get you there. I'm the best ferryman this side of the Gulf. From Baton Rouge to the Bermuda Rectangle, I'm your man.
I thought it was called the Bermuda Triangle.
Well, sure it is now, ever since one of its sides mysteriously disappeared.
I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Oh, look who's returned.
Good evening, Felix.
Remind me, did you say your name was Captain Knott?
My pseudonym, that's right, for marketing purposes.
Because I've been doing some research in the club archives, and it seems as though we already had a Captain Knott as a member about 10 years ago.
That would be my father, Captain Knott Sr. I'll pass on a hello next time I see him.
42 years as a captain, sailed each of the 7 seas.
That's the one. More at home on the waves.
It says in the records that he's deceased.
Might be harder than expected to pass on that hello, actually.
Drowned, apparently,
A mighty struggle.
while taking a bath.
Mainly a struggle with the plug, really.
Look, I'm on to you, Sonny. When Mr. Perkins gets back tomorrow, we'll be having an investigation. Captain Knott, or not a captain.
And until then?
Enjoy the club.
I filled the bottle with water from the fountain. Avast, mateys! Shiver me timbers! 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance, me hearties. Yo-ho!
What on earth are you talking about?
I think your lighthouse might have lured in a loon, Moot.
I thought you were captains. Isn't this how captains talk?
Not outside of Treasure Island, novel. Do you expect us to carry parrots on our shoulders, too?
I tried that once in my life, and all I got was excrement down the back of my blazer.
Oh, right. Good evening.
It's about time you got here. I've been waiting for you.
You have?
Darn right. Give me another sarsaparilla, and be quick about it.
No, I'm not a waiter.
You're a captain? They keep getting younger and younger. Do they give you a free pair of floaties with your license nowadays?
Are you a captain?
I was, a long time ago. Captain Cuthbert Moot's the name. Now I'm the island's lighthouse keeper.
How come you're not captaining anymore?
I had a bit of a bump with a lighthouse.
If only lighthouses had some way of warning you they were there. The lighthouse keeper's nostrils huffed like a bull about to charge at a matador.
After I crashed the ship, I lost my job with the Bellmore Trading Company. What's more, I was taken off the Bellmore wedding guest list. I've spent one disappointment after another ever since. I used to be a king of the waves. Now I'm a bigger wreck than my ship.
How did you not see the lighthouse?
I was busy at the time. What are you, the captaincy board?
But you managed to keep your captain's license?
In a manner of speaking, the captaincy board has a sense of irony. After I crashed into the lighthouse, they made me take the job of lighthouse keeper to maintain my credentials.
Then shouldn't you be at the fort if you're the lighthouse keeper?
Yeah, it's a dreary place, and there's a damn fleabag cat there that won't leave me alone. Anyway, it's a clear night. If the fog comes in, I'll switch the light on. Otherwise, I'm staying right here.
What's wrong with the cat?
Blacktail, you see these scratch marks on my nose? The damn thing jumps for my head every time the badge on my hat catches the light.
You worked for the Bellmore Trading Company?
Once upon a time, I was the captain of the SS Mysterium, flagship of the Bellmore Trading Company fleet. I've captained more ocean voyages than you've taken baths. I might look like I should be hawking fish sticks at a market stall, but back then, I was at the top of my game, enjoying the finer things in life. Caviar in the finest restaurants, champagne at the finest resorts, dressing in the finest tuxedos. Oh, one little bump through my whole career down the plug hole.
I take it the captain's club doesn't compare.
It did once upon a time. This place used to be a model of a club. Now the only thing it'd be modeling would be a cardigan and a girdle.
So you weren't invited to the Bellmore wedding?
No, I was snubbed. Years of captaining their flagship, and then I get forgotten like a dirty sock. I tried to convince Mrs. Craddock to add me to the list, but she's got a heart colder than a penguin's behind.
I was invited to the Bellmore wedding.
What? You never told me that.
You never asked. Yeah, not a direct invitation from the Bellmores, but I was invited as a +1.
Who invited you?
A little lady named Tallulah LaRue.
Why didn't you go?
Because she scared the hell out of me.
Isn't it lucky that you didn't go to the Bellmore wedding?
Lucky? How by Neptune's beard could you call that lucky?
Because the whole wedding disappeared. Their lives were stolen from them, their souls trapped in a tormented house for eternity. If you'd have been there, you'd have disappeared too.
Oh, it just would have been nice to feel included, that's all.
Is there a way into the fort?
Not without the key, and I'm the one in charge of that. Do you know the reason for the big walls, the sturdy gates, the barrels of gunpowder, and the big boomy cannons? To keep people out!
Can you turn on the lighthouse beacon?
I don't know if you know how lighthouses work, but they only need to be lit up when visibility is low. As far as I can tell, it's a clear night, so until I see fog pouring through that window, I'm not doing a thing.
I better be off.
So long.
That trophy belongs to the club champion, and as I'm club champion, I'm telling you, hands off.
Empty of flowers, I could see that the window box was securely attached to the club's masonry. I needed to think of something else. The dry ice clattered into the metal window box. I thought it best to leave the dry ice in the window box. I poured the contents of the bottle onto the dry ice, and immediately it started to evaporate, filling the area with mist.
Waiter!
I told you, I don't work here.
Do you know how to work a lock at least?
Sure I do.
Right. Well, the fog's coming in, and someone needs to switch on the lighthouse light. I would do it myself, but that fort's danker than the inside of a sailor's trousers. Use this key to unlock the gate, then turn on the light with the switch on the ramparts. Think you can handle that?
I'm on it. It was strange to think that I'd been supernaturally trapped within the house, and that despite that, I felt compelled to go back in. It was strange to think that Do you mind if I borrow this shovel?
Oh, go right ahead. I already dug up those naughty thorns. It's funny, even when things are dead, they can still cause trouble. Just look at us ghosts.
From the fort ramparts, I had an unobstructed view across the entire southeastern coast of the island. Cliffs and crags, waves and water, and an endless horizon. Walking into the church, I was presented with the sight of the stained glass window illuminated beautifully by the lighthouse beam. They lined up perfectly. With the lighthouse light illuminating the window, I could now make out the colors of the stained glass. With the lighthouse light illuminating the window, I could now make out the colors of the stained glass. Pressing the button, I noticed something had changed in the stained glass window. Whatever mechanical process it used was a mystery to me, but pressing the button caused the panes of glass to tilt, ever so slightly, so that the white light from the fort was split into 4 different colors that seemed to dance around the window. As soon as the plates in the stained glass window clicked into place, forming a translucent cross at the center, I heard a rumble behind me. The sound of antique machinery somewhere beneath the stone floor. The uneven stone staircase descended beneath the church into a dark, narrow tunnel. I considered taking one of the skulls, but each seemed firmly immovable and really creepy. The passageway twisted far away from the church, finally emerging in a round room lit only by a pale shaft of moonlight filtering through a narrow hole above. Tombs surrounded me in solemn silence. I had found the sanctuary crypt. I needed to know what was on the other side of that wall. This was a situation that called for some straightforward destruction. You're free now, Yardley. He can't keep you imprisoned anymore.
So you are the mortal who is trying to find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor before me.
Rackham!
You know who I am. Surely you must also know that you have started down a foolish path. It will only end in your death, Murphy McCallan.
I know all about your plan, Rackham.
My plan will succeed with or without your interference. I'm afraid you're making a terrible mistake, McCallan. For your own sake, I suggest you leave this island for good.
Never. Whether you like it or not, I'm part of this story now too.
Don't let it be said I didn't warn you. If you're so interested in being friends with the dead, perhaps it's time you joined them. Just as Yardley Belmore was entombed alive, so shall you be.
Rackham's spell had transported me somewhere I couldn't immediately place. I was lying down, my arms pinned to the side of me, my hands only able to feel the grain of the wooden boards to the sides and above and below me. And then I heard the noise, something thudding on the boards above me. That's when I realized I was being buried alive. That wasn't going to help me escape from the coffin. Pulling the nails out of the coffin lid only would have worked if I'd been outside the coffin. I fumbled in my pockets and took out the screw jack, bracing it between the floor and the lid. With each crank, the pressure grew and grew, until finally... Hey! Could you get me out of here?
Murphy? What are you doing down there?
Trying to not be down here.
I'll go fetch a ladder. Don't go anywhere.
Where do you think I could go? Before I'd even reached the top of the ladder, Edgar had fled to the safety of his shack, far away from the grave where he'd inadvertently tried to bury me. But one good thing had come out of it. Now I had Yardley's key.
These are complimentary matchbooks for members only.
I am a member.
Oh, yes. How silly of me to forget.
Hello again, Felix.
Hello again, sir.
How's the club tonight?
Buzzing.
That lively, huh?
No, I mean I just had to remove a wasp nest from the gentleman's lavatory.
Is the elevator still not fixed?
It hasn't been fixed for the last 7 months. I doubt it will miraculously start working for you tonight.
How did it break, anyway?
The city council rented out the whole club one day for a meeting to discuss a new town seal. Some sort of insignia representing Dead Nettle's history and culture. Unfortunately, the mayor misunderstood the brief and showed up with a seal of the aquatic type. 2 fins, whiskers, a little tricorn hat, and the moniker Captain Snoops. Took the entire council to wrestle him back into the elevator and get him down to the docks. And it overloaded the motor. And do you know what the real cherry on top was? He got the animal wrong. Captain Snoops was a sea lion, not a seal.
What's the difference?
An I, an O, and an N.
Crab McCready told me you kicked him out of the club for teaching a parrot poetry?
Yes, that's quite correct.
That doesn't seem very fair.
You didn't hear the poetry. If I may regale you, there was a young man from Bombay. took the slow boat to China one day. He was pinned to the tiller by a frisky gorilla, and China's a bloody long way.
I see.
Apologies if we're in disagreement about whether that sort of material is appropriate for the Captain's Club.
Nope, can't argue with that. Very fair conclusion. I best be casting off.
Farewell, Captain.
If I needed more help from Crab, I was going to need to charter his ferry. I'd like to charter your ferry, please. I have a map here to... Huh? What's that?
Shh, shh, quiet! The show's starting. Signore, signori, ladies and gentlemen, the magic and mystery of the theater comes together with the artistry of the craftsman. I was going to say that. You're interrupting me. You started it. This is very unprofessional. To present to you the fantastical battle between good and evil, a struggle between right and wrong. I just said that. The timeless tale of Pulcinella. I was supposed to announce the title.
Hey guys, do you think you'll be finished soon? I don't think I'd ever been brushed off by a puppet before. Perhaps it was the piratical air that brought to mind the mimicry skills of a parrot. If Squawkin' Hawkins could do it, maybe I could give it a try.
You're speaking over my lines. I'm not speaking over your lines. You're adding in lines that weren't in the script.
Nope. It was a handmade necklace of a wooden compass broken in two. Abigail's ghost was once again back in her bedroom, now fully consumed by the minutes left before he married her were falling away like dominoes. The necklace I was carrying exactly matched the one around the neck of the bride's reflection. This must have belonged to the sailor. It was time to reunite it with its other half. As the reflection disappeared back into the mirror, I looked at the dresser and saw that something had been left behind. A small ivory comb. I didn't think Abigail would mind if I took the comb with me. That seemed to get one of the puppeteers riled up. I wondered if I could do the same for the other. Remembering my childhood days, I wrapped the tissue paper around the comb to form a rudimentary kazoo.
Non ci posso credere. That was my moment. Your moment? We agreed in rehearsals that this scene would be about me. Because I did no such thing. You did it again! You always told me you'd try to upstage me. Que pazza. Mamma told you that. She always told me I should go solo. Right, that's it. I quit. You quit? I quit first. You'll never work in this town again. Work in this town again? We only arrived this morning. You sabotaged the show.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just...
That was hilarious. I liked it when the puppets fight, but I love it when it's the puppeteers.
Glad you enjoyed the show.
Could I borrow those instruments you used? If they come back, I'd like to direct the encore.
Sure, I doubt I'll have much more use for them. Could you take me to Crossbone Cove?
Well, look at that. That's quite the dangerous destination. Do you know how many boats have crashed against the rocks along that coast?
Does that mean we can't go?
Oh, sure we can. But it'll cost you.
How much?
Boat charter, insurance, perilous route supplement, double pay at this time of night. It's gonna cost you at least $50.
$50?
Plus tax. Let's call it $75 total.
75?
But listen, I'll give you private hire of the ferry for the rest of the night.
I don't have that much.
No problem. Just get back to me when you do. As I say it, you've got no other choice. Ain't no other ferry around at this time of night. Careful where you step. Look, another one.
Another what?
A pebble. Don't step on them.
There are pebbles all over this beach. There's not many places I could stand that don't have them.
But they could be important.
My name's Murphy McCallan. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yes. Hello. Pleased to meet you. I'm Muffy Carlyle.
Wait, I think I've heard of you. Doesn't your family run a banking firm in New York?
That's the one. Are you familiar with the Carlisle Provincial Accounts and Joint Stock Corporation?
Actually, the reason I remembered you was because I was amazed the owner had a son named Muffy.
It's a nickname. Nanny gave it to me because my ears were always cold.
What's so important about the pebbles?
It's not the pebbles themselves. It's what's inside them.
What's inside the pebbles?
Dinosaurs.
I'm sorry. I think I'm missing something here. You think there are dinosaurs living inside the rocks?
Not living. They're extinct. So I've been told. But skulls, bones, fossils.
Oh, you're a fossil hunter?
That's right. But this beach seems terrible for them.
Why is this beach terrible for fossil hunting?
Too many people wandering across here. The place has been picked dry. I need somewhere secluded. A beach no one ever goes to. Are you from around here? Do you know anywhere like that?
I'm afraid I don't.
Well, do let me know if you find anywhere. I'd pay a pretty penny to go somewhere with potential.
Have you found many fossils before?
Only one. It was in our flower garden. The summer house, actually.
Fascinating. Where did you find it?
In a plant pot.
A plant pot? Shouldn't it have been in the ground?
Yes. Nanny told me she planted it there for me to find. Couldn't stand the look of disappointment on my face.
Oh, this was when you were a child.
No, last week.
Have you been out here long?
Just a couple of hours. Rufus dropped me off just after supper.
Dropped you off, but the causeway is flooded over.
I didn't come via the causeway. I got here on the yacht.
You have a boat?
The Plucky Plesiosaur. I named it myself.
Do you work for your father's company too?
That's right. I'm Executive Director of New Initiatives.
And what exactly does that entail?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But Papa does say it requires me to be out of the office as much as humanly possible. Muffy, he tells me, if I have to see your face around here, I'll end up moving to Tibet and joining a monastery. So even if I'm not sure exactly what my job is, clearly it is very important.
Well, good luck with your search.
I'll never give up. That's the dinosaur way.
Did you say you were looking for a more secluded beach?
Yes, that's right. Have you found one?
Look at this! Further along the coast is a bay called Crossbone Cove.
Crossbone Cove! That does sound very bony. How do we get there?
There's a ferryman in town named Crab McCready who can take us to Crossbone Cove. We just need $75 to cover the charter fee.
Oh, absolutely. I can spare some of my allowance. Let me write you a check.
It was a signed check I'd been given by Muffy Carlyle, the fossil hunter, to charter a ferry to Crossbone Cove.
That should cover it.
I'll go charter it at once. Will this cover the ferry payment?
Ooh, I didn't think you'd get that much. Sure it will. Who's this Carlisle guy?
Oh, he's coming too. He's funding the trip.
Well, he gets a promotional flag too.
Gee, thanks.
Consider this ferry chartered. Thank you for placing your trust in the Crab McCready Ferry Company, despite all the reviews. Now, once your compatriot is here, we can cast off. Pin that map up inside the cabin, will you? It'll be a tricky voyage to Crossbone Cove. I haven't sunk yet. This month.
And so we were off, captained by a man whose body composition had more alcohol in it than a bottle of vodka. And yet he navigated like a seasoned dancer, pirouetting through the treacherous currents with a drunken grace, all the while sipping from a flask that smelled stronger than window cleaner. Crab, I can't complain about your captaincy skills, but I've got to ask, how did you get through those treacherous rocks with so much alcohol in your bloodstream?
Murphy, if I didn't have the alcohol in my bloodstream, I wouldn't be going anywhere near those rocks in the first place.
I didn't want to disturb the rock pile. I might have made it collapse. Hello again, Muffy.
Hello, Murphy.
Any luck finding those fossils?
Nothing. I'm beginning to think this island doesn't have any fossils.
Have you found anything at all?
Only these.
Oh my goodness, Muffy! Those are gemstones! Rubies, emeralds, sapphires? This might be genuine pirate treasure.
But they're not fossils, are they? They're nothing more than baubles. They're not the figurative footsteps of ancient behemoths, the skeletal remains of the kings of the prehistoric world. I'll have you know, I'm not conducting this exploration for financial gain, but for the love of dinosaurs. Here, you seem rather entranced by them. You can have them.
Gosh, thank you, Muffy. What do you think of Crossbone Cove, Muffy?
I feel like a real explorer out here. Such daring and tranquil isolation, inaccessible, miles from civilization.
It's nice to get away from it all, isn't it?
Just the place to build a summer retreat, I'd say. A manor on the cliffside, a pier for the yacht, connect up a road for Rufus, my driver, a few cottages for the staff. Then I'd be able to enjoy the isolation properly.
You haven't seen a cave around here, have you?
I'm afraid not. Why? Have you lost one?
It appears so.
Well, don't give up. Things are always in the last place you look.
Good luck with the fossil hunting.
I'm close. I can feel it.
Hey, Crab, what is this thing?
Ah, there's a cairn. Probably built centuries ago.
What was it used for?
The cairns were used by pirates as markers. You see, with all these coves and caves along the coastline, it'd be easy to lose track of which one held the booty. So they'd stack up the rocks and put something reflective on top, like a shard of metal from a broken cutlass or a handheld mirror. Then, as they'd sail the coast, they'd shine their lanterns across the beaches, and if they saw something reflect back, they knew that's where they'd hidden the stolen loot.
Do you think the cove still has treasure?
I don't think so. What's the point of hiding gold and jewels if you don't come back to collect and spend them?
I balanced the brooch on top of the cairn, its reflective jewel facing out to the horizon. If pirates could make use of this, maybe I could too. I'd like to head back to Dead Nettle, please.
I'll stay here. Come back for me later. I'm not leaving until I find a fossil.
That guy's elevator doesn't go all the way to the top floor now, does it? Hop aboard, Murphy.
Welcome back!
I've got something to sell that I think you'll be very interested in.
Wonderful! What is it you're selling?
These are genuine pirate gems. They were discovered at the treacherously inaccessible Crossbone Cove, where they must have laid undisturbed for 2 centuries. Just imagine their history. Fierce ship battles, sword fights, X marks the spot. They must be priceless.
That's a very exciting story, Murphy. But I'm afraid what we have here is glass.
Glass?
Yes, sea glass. Bits of bottle or a broken lantern, perhaps. They fall into the sea, then get smashed up into little pieces by the rocks. The tide wears them down until you end up with pretty little polished pieces like this.
Does that mean you're not going to buy them off me?
I'm afraid not. But they are pretty. I'll tell you what I'll do. Have a look and see if there's something you'd like to trade them for. Does that sound like a deal?
Sounds like the best deal I'm going to get. Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
I'm looking for 3 keys.
No, unless they're the gem-encrusted keys to a lady's heart, I don't think I can help you. I'm a jeweler, not a locksmith.
Are these fossils for sale?
Goodness me, you're the second person today to ask me about them.
Let me guess. The first one was a gentleman called Muffy?
I didn't catch his name, but he pressed his face up against the cabinet so hard he left nose prints on the glass. Wouldn't stop asking questions about where I found them. Seemed to think they were from here on the island. Didn't have the heart to tell him I brought them all back from a vacation in Grimstone, Arizona. Total time waster. Who was he anyway? Friend of yours?
Not exactly. His name is Muffy Carlyle.
Of the Carlisle Provincial Accounts and Joint Stock Corporation?
That's him.
You mean to tell me one of the richest men in the country was in my store? My store. Selling the finest watches, necklaces, jewelry, and rings? And all he wanted to talk about was rocks and bones? Excuse me. I feel a little faint.
Do you think I could buy a fossil?
You certainly can, if you can afford it.
Could I take it on account?
On account of what?
On account of me having no money. I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How come you're working so late?
Well, the wife's gone to visit her cousin Winnie for a few days. And if I stayed in my bedroom, I'd just start going loopy.
What's the carving on the front of your counter?
That is the genuine stern carving of the Golden Goose, the famous brigantine. I could trace my family's history on the island back hundreds of years, right back to the ship's owner, Captain Bartholomew Crumb. You've heard of him, I expect.
Captain Crumb, the vicious pirate? I read about him as a child.
One of the most successful in the Caribbean. That is, until, as the story goes, he got pursued by a ghost ship.
A ghost ship? Surely that can't be more than a legend.
Then how do you explain this? Without a single shot fired, every sailor aboard his ship fell down dead, victims of an evil pirate who wielded a black stone. Captain Crumb was the sole survivor. He escaped undetected in a rowboat, and after days at sea, made it to this very island. After that, he never went to sea again. Instead, he set up this shop with the one chest of jewels he'd managed to carry away. Some of the gems you see around here still date back to that final hoard.
A black stone killed the crew?
Well, so the story goes. I suppose it explains my family's obsession. Not just the gold and jewels that tempt us, but the wicked stones that threaten us.
Why did Captain Crumb come to Devil's Rock to set up his store?
This was his home port. Devil's Rock used to be quite the lawless island. Legend goes he used to hide his treasure along the southeastern coastline. The island is dotted with caves. Plenty of places to hide the loot.
Have you heard of something called the Coffin Stone? Jasper's eyes grew to double their size with a look of both excitement and fear.
How do you know about that?
I'm starting to think it's real.
I thought you didn't believe my tale about the ghost ship.
I do now.
Then I'm happy to tell you everything I know. Now, don't be telling anyone this, but I've read the captain's log, and the coffin stone was what murdered my great-great-grandfather's crew. Try telling people that a little bit of rock could allow a single pirate to overrun a galleon, and you're laughed at. But that's exactly what he says happened. 86 crew members, all killed by a magic stone. Their souls dragged from their bodies.
Who was wielding the stone?
A pirate called Captain Skelet. Truth be told, he wasn't much of a pirate for the first years of his career on the high seas, but almost overnight he became the most feared gentleman ever to fly the black flag.
What happened to him?
Nobody knows.
And the stone?
Nobody knows that either. But if you hear anything, do tell me.
I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
Could I trade the sea glass for one of the watches?
I'm not so sure some washed-up glass equals the value of one of those timepieces. Perhaps something else?
Could I trade the sea glass for one of these fossils?
Certainly. I think that's within your price range. Which would you like?
The swirly one at the front would be great. Thank you.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Hello again, Crab.
Hello, Murphy.
I'd like to head back to Crossbone Cove, please.
That's enough.
Muffy, look what I just found.
Is that what I think it is? A dinosaur fossil. A memento of the behemoths. A shadow of a bygone age. My very own dinosaur. That's an ammonite, that is.
Really not helping here, Crab.
Just saying.
And it was right here where you were searching. You were right after all.
I was right. I'm a real-life paleontologist. This'll show Papa.
Crab, we're heading back to Dead Nettle. Muffy found what he was looking for.
Glad to hear it. Step aboard. Where did your friend run off to so fast?
I have no idea, but I think we made a childhood dream come true tonight.
I am so overwhelmed, I might spew right across the deck.
Hello again, Crab.
Hello, Murphy.
I'd like to head back to Crossbone Cove, please.
That's enough.
At the far end of Crossbone Cove, all I came across was a wall of rocks and boulders. It seemed the cave I was after had gone missing.
Dollhouse in dreamland, filled it with sunshine and sun.
Good evening. My name's Murphy McCallan.
Good evening, Captain McCallan. Captain Gifford Pemberley at your service. That's right, I expect you've heard of me. Master of the Mississippi, tamer of the Tennessee, cuddler of the Colorado. Care to hit the table with me?
I'll join you in a game. What are we playing?
Billiards.
Should I set her up?
It is set up. This isn't American billiards, boy. We're playing English billiards. A fine game which requires only 3 balls. A white for me, a yellow for you, and a red we share.
I haven't heard of English billiards before.
I learned it when I toured the gambling halls of London back in 1922. It's a game with far more depth and skill than pool or snooker.
points are awarded not just for potting, but by the flair with which strikes are accomplished. More points can be earned with a fanciful shot than by a simple pocketing.
So I'm not trying to get the balls in the little holes?
Look, I think we might be a bit out of your depth with this. Why don't we keep it simple? The winner is the one who can bounce the red ball off the cushions the most times.
I can do that.
Then let's play. I'm afraid it'll have to be with dry cues. For some reason, the billiard chalk's gone missing.
I wonder how that happened.
Sevens! Something to be proud of. Threes. Too bad, Captain McCallum. It seems my standing as champion of the Captain's Club continues.
The billiard table was already occupied. There was nothing else in the pockets of the lab coat. The apparatus looked like the handiwork of a mad scientist. I thought it was best not to mess with it. Who knew what sort of reaction I might set off? That didn't work. Hello again, Sebastian.
Oh, it's you again.
Not playing hide and seek anymore?
I've outgrown it.
Sore loser, huh?
I didn't lose. You cheated. Anyway, I've moved on to this now.
A paddleball?
My mum found it for me after I told her I wasn't getting the tin boot I wanted for my birthday.
It's not even your birthday.
That doesn't matter. Anyway, what? Bet you can't do this.
The little brat had me there. Like hula hooping, unicycling, and stilt walking, my facility with a paddleball was on par with my ability to do other completely useless party tricks. Shouldn't you be getting ready for the wedding?
I'm not the page boy anymore. I've been demoted.
How did that happen?
Well, before I started playing with this paddleball, I found a marble in one of the bedrooms. A super-sized one, perfect for bombing.
Whose bedroom?
One of the guest rooms. Mr. Beaumont's, I think. He's certainly lost his marbles.
What did you do with it?
Like my dad taught me, I'm keeping Mum on that one. All I'm going to say is that it was a big mix-up. Mrs. Craddock must have had her sense of humour surgically removed.
So, you think you're good with that paddleball, huh?
Better than you'll ever be. Just name a trick and I can do it.
Bet you can't do the paddleball with your eyes closed.
Look and learn.
With Sebastian's eyes closed, I took out my scissors and when the timing was right, snipped.
Hey, what happened to my paddleball?
The ball just snapped right off there. Maybe you need to practice a bit more. With any other child, I'd feel guilty. With Sebastian, it felt like evening out the cosmic balance.
I bet Mallory was behind this.
I picked up the red rubber ball I'd cut from the paddleball. It looked like a clown's nose. I had an idea, one that required skill, subtlety, and finesse, or at least the ability to hurl a billiard ball through an open doorway. Yoink!
Did you just touch the table?
Absolutely not.
Ow! Who threw that?
Hello again, Captain Pemberley.
Welcome back, Captain McCallum.
I'd like a rematch at English billiards.
Thinking you can beat what I hit before? Step right up. I don't believe it. I've never seen 14s before. You must have arms like the coupling rods on a steam train.
A blessing and a curse, as I've discovered more than once to my own cost. But I don't like to boast. Does this mean I win the trophy?
I'm afraid it does, but you need to bring it back next Wednesday for the potluck. We'll have a rematch then.
With my newfound title as club billiards champion, it was time to claim my trophy. Good evening, Captain Moot.
If you say so.
I switched on the lighthouse light.
Do you want a medal?
I'm the club's new champion billiards player.
Did you beat old Pemberley?
Beginner's luck, I suppose.
Ha! Looks like all those days at the bays haven't paid off, Gifford. Boy, you'll have to have a party to celebrate.
Sure, Moot. Just make sure to get an invitation so you don't have to crash the party. We all know how much you enjoy crashing things.
I better be off.
So long.
As I directed the light along the coast, it caught the polished brooch I'd placed on the cairn, reflecting back the light fantastically, like a signal mirror. I needed to load some gunpowder into the cannon first. The cannon looked like it might still work. If it did, I knew from that evening's previous experience with firearms that 5 steps were required: gunpowder, shot, ramrod, aim, fire. It was the gunpowder barrel the cat had knocked over, now spilling out its contents onto the cold stone floor. I took a handful of the spilled gunpowder. I poured the gunpowder into the cannon. I loaded the billiards trophy into the cannon. Spherical and solid metal, it was the perfect improvised cannonball. I packed in the gunpowder and makeshift cannonball. Now there were just 2 steps remaining. Aim and fire. Whoa! The cannon looked like it might still work. If it did, I knew from that evening's previous experience with firearms that 5 steps were required. Gunpowder, shot, ramrod, aim, fire. With the brooch at Crossbone Cove reflecting light back from the lighthouse, I knew exactly where to aim. I took a match out of the matchbook and lit the cannon's fuse. I felt like a pirate captain about to unleash a broadside barrage. Ready the cannons, you scurvy scallywags! Pull the ship to port, down with the mainsail! Buckle your swash and fire! That looks like it might have worked. Hello again, Crab.
Hello, Murphy.
I'd like to head back to Crossbone Cove, please.
That's enough. Well, blow me down. What's happened here? Did you do this, Murphy?
I needed to find a way in.
Well, Aladdin, I think you found your magic cave.
The cannon fire had worked. The boulders that had fallen in the rock slide were now rubble strewn across the beach, revealing what I'd been searching for, a dark cave winding into the cliffside. A ghostly glow flickered from the far end of the cave as I slipped on the seaweed-covered rocks trying to reach it. I began to fear the worst, but as I emerged in the subterranean chamber, I discovered it was actually the otherworldly glow of plankton. I found you, Xavier. Your final expedition won't have been in vain.
I grow weary of your inability to heed my warning, Murphy McCallan. No good shall come from you pursuing this.
What you've done to Abigail Belmore cannot be allowed to continue.
Abigail Belmore is dead, as will you be, if you continue this pathetic charade.
She deserves to be free, just like all the ghosts of the manor.
You haven't learnt, have you, McCallan? Everything you've done so far has just made the situation worse. Now is the time to back out.
I'll never do that, Rackham. Finding the treasure is more important to me now than it's ever been.
Then I hope it's a cause you're willing to die for. Just as Xavier Belmore drowned in the rising tide of this cave, so shall you.
When Rackham's earthquake finally stopped, I realized the route I'd followed into the cave was blocked. Tons of impenetrable rock and rubble now stood between me and the outside world. I was trapped. The only source of light was the glowing algae in the water, but even that dimmed to darkness when it went undisturbed in the quiet cave. At any point, the cave could fill up with seawater, drowning me just as it had Xavier. I needed to find a way out. I scooped up some of the algae water. With a quick shake to agitate it, the bottle began to shine like a blue lantern. As I stood still, I noticed the algae beginning to dim. I'd read that its glow was triggered by vibrations, and without my footsteps, it was getting darker. As the darkness dimmed in the cave, I began to make out a faint luminescence in the form of a whirlpool. Some turbulence beneath the water was making the algae glow, and I hoped it might be an underwater tunnel. That might have been my only way out, but swimming through the darkness would have been far too dangerous. That might have been my only way out, but swimming through the darkness would have been far too dangerous. The lights below the water didn't offer much chance of escape, but at least it was better than waiting to drown in the cave. Using the bottle of algae as an underwater lantern, I waded into the water, then dived down below the surface. The underwater tunnels felt like a maze. I pulled myself past jagged rocks and twisting passages, with only the ethereal blue glow of the algae to light my way. Until finally, with only seconds of air left in my lungs, I reached the surface.
Murphy, what are you doing over there? It's dangerous to swim out here, you know. You could get washed into a sea cave or something.
Thanks for the advice, Crab. I'll make a note of that. Green from the seawater I'd swallowed, I could at least say I'd survived being drowned. And now I had Xavier's key. Hello again, Crab.
Hello, Murphy.
I'd like to head back to Dead Nettle, please.
Hop aboard, Murphy.
I'd already carried a shrunken head around earlier that night. I didn't want to start a trend by lugging around other unnerving abominations. And I especially didn't want this one talking to me. The books covered all manner of scientific subjects, magnetism, thermodynamics, chemistry, and much more, none of which I had the time or understanding to read. It was strange to Looking through the telescope, all I could see was a blur. I soon realized why. A telescope without a lens wasn't going to be much use.
Welcome back!
I still had a key to put into the fireplace. Could I use your microscope to look at this coin I found?
Oh! Are you a fellow fan of numismatics?
I prefer the old ones.
Yeah, never mind. Go right ahead.
With the microscope calibrated, the coin's writing came into focus. It read, "Into the palm of a prince." The inscription must have been a clue in Cecil's treasure hunt. I just had to find the prince's palm he was referring to.
Granny? Why are you in a chamber pot? Oh, right.
That didn't work. I needed to think of something else. Using one of the cotton flags, I scooped up some of the gloppy grease. Following the inscription on the coin and realizing that the metallic statue depicted an Indian prince, I took a close look at the statue's palm. For the first time, I noticed a slight circular indentation, about the size of a coin. I placed the coin into the statue's hand. It fit the indentation exactly, into the palm of a prince. No sooner had I done it than I heard sparks and hums coming from inside the statue. That's when I realized it wasn't a statue at all. It was an automaton, a robotic figure made to move with cogs, wires, and electrical pulses. It seemed to be fighting to move, but then, nothing.
Well, blow me over with a dandelion. I didn't expect anyone to get that working again.
It's not doing much.
Joints will be frozen, I should think. No wonder after all these years. Another job for me to do, and a dangerous one at that. Who knows how many volts Master Cecil ran through that thing to get it moving.
Using the flag soaked in grease, I began to oil the automaton's joints. I was pretty sure I'd lubricated the automaton enough. Now it was time to test it. Now it was time to test it. What I once thought was a statue was now revealed to be an intricately mechanized automaton in the image of an Indian prince. I placed the coin back in the automaton's hand and watched. The cap of the scroll case opened and revealed something inside.
Well, there's life in the old thing yet. Gives us all hope, doesn't it?
The automaton's hand had closed on the coin, revealing a secret compartment in the scroll case. I picked up the piece of paper that had fallen from the statue. Unrolling it, I discovered it was a death certificate, all filled in except for one key piece of information. The name was missing. It was certainly a clue, but who did it belong to? As I returned to the docks, I realized that Dead Nettle's usual smell of sea breeze and rotting fish had been replaced by something far more pleasant, the smoky scent of a fish I thought I recognized.
Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? I didn't think I'd be seeing you again, Mac. I thought you'd be swimming back to the mainland. Or, well, swimming with the fishes. How's the auditing going?
Well, I quit my job.
You quit? I thought that was the whole reason you were here in the first place.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Why you doing this, Mac? Don't you have a family you need to get back to? Away from the ghost stories?
I don't have any family. I never have. I was found.
Found?
As a baby, I was left on the doorstep of an orphanage with just a blanket and a piece of paper with my name on it. Growing up, I always felt alone, like I was missing someone who loved me. The last orphanage I was in was above a bookstore called Eerie Echoes, and I used to pick up the dime novels that got thrown out at the end of each month. My favorites were always the scary ones.
Why did you like the scary stories so much?
I felt like if I could read the scariest story I could find, it would make my life at the time seem a little less scary by comparison.
That's heartbreaking, Mac.
But that's why I'm still here. I always wanted to be in one of those stories, and now I am. I don't have much of a past, but this is a chance to make myself a future.
Well, I hope you find what you're searching for. But don't say I didn't warn you. Now look, here's something to lift the spirits. Now, I hope you don't mind, but you left your fish hanging there. No sense in letting a fish that size go to waste. I've started cooking it up. It'll be the tastiest fish this side of the Mississippi. We can tuck in as soon as it's cooked.
I tried to hide the realization growing on my face. A mouthful of taxidermy stuffing and chipped teeth from the iron horseshoe hidden inside wouldn't be the culinary sensation Ned was after. Sounds great, Ned. If Ned wanted to wait until the fish was cooked to tuck in, it was time to turn up the heat.
Whoa! We don't want you overdone, little fishy. Time to cut you open. Ready for a taste sensation, Mac?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Hand me back that knife, would you? That's strange. There's something in here. A horseshoe.
Now, how did that get in there?
Mac, I think your fish is stuffed.
Well, knock me over with a herring. I'm shocked. Does this mean my record doesn't count?
I hate to break it to you.
Did I hear what I think I heard? Out of the way, Buster.
Evelyn, what took you so long?
The record-breaking Pancosa was stuffed? The new record was a sham? Murphy, what have you got to say for yourself?
You've caught me red-handed. Well, I don't mean to be coy with you, but this cuts me to the soul. I only entered for the halibut. I can't believe I'm herring this right. I'm cracking up. I'm floundering. I'm carping on and on. I need to clear my head, but let me know if you need anything else from me.
I think you've got more of a future in the funny pages than serious journalism, Murphy. Kips, have you got time for an interview with the Juniper Parish Gazette?
Evelyn homed in on Ned like a dog with a bone and no sense of personal boundaries.
What would you say?
Using the date from the death certificate, I began to search through the newspaper's archives. And then, I found it. In the bottom corner of the newspaper was a small announcement showing that the person buried on that date was named Eleanor Hines. I ripped out the announcement and replaced the newspaper. It was the obituary I'd ripped from the newspaper giving the burial date of someone named Eleanor Hines.
McCallan, I told you can't go back there.
Whoops, look at the time. I've really got to be going. I had a name to go along with the death certificate. Now it was time to find out where they were buried. I began searching the graves for the name in the clipping, Eleanor Hines. Aha! I discovered a small headstone at the center of the cemetery, partially covered in moss and lacking any date whatsoever. So this was where Eleanor Hines had been buried. Except, now that I was looking at it etched in large letters, I began to realize something. The name was an anagram. Here lies no one? And if a person wasn't buried here, what was? To say digging up a grave felt eerie would be an understatement. But if something was down there, I needed to find out what it was. took out the shovel and began to dig. Eventually, I found something. Not a coffin, but instead, a battered old chest. I opened the chest I dug up from the grave and found two things of interest: a round glass lens and an engraving in the lid of the chest. I picked up the glass lens. The engraving read, "The Tale of the Mermaid." The small lens fit perfectly on the end of the telescope. I immediately looked through it to see what it would reveal. I spy with my little eye the next clue. Perhaps there was something important about the weather vane, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was. The Tale of the Mermaid. This must have been the location described in the chest's inscription, but looking through the gap in the weather vane, all I could see was darkness. With no easy path to it, I couldn't justify risking my life trekking through overgrown wilderness and the alligator-infested bayou unless I was sure something was there. I needed some way to light up the bayou. The firework dropped snugly into the drain pipe. If it needed a launch tube to fire, this was the closest I was going to get. I took a match out of the matchbook, dragged it against the striker, and lit the firework. Illuminated by the glow of the fireworks, I could see something through the mermaid weather vane. It looked like a wishing well. My route to the well had me clambering over fallen tupelo trees and trudging through knee-deep water, lit only by moonlight and accompanied only by the overly curious critters of the bayou. But eventually, I found it. The rope looked like it could bear my weight, if only I could lower it into the well first. The crank slid into the gear mechanism perfectly. I'd heard of throwing a coin down a well to make a wish, but never of throwing yourself down. I just had to hope a 30-year-old rope could still hold my weight. With some luck, I found I'd landed on a metal platform jutting out into the hollow of the well. Clearly, I wasn't the first person to come down here, although the previous visitor might have arrived here more gracefully. I picked up the rope and the spindle it was attached to. Unless I planned on jumping even further down into the well, the alcove looked like the only route out. But as I ran my hands over the bumps in the darkness, I couldn't find anything but cold, wet stone. If there was something there, I'd need some illumination to find it. Knowing how flammable the grease-soaked cotton would be, I wrapped it around the spindle to form a rudimentary torch. I took the final match out of the matchbook, careful not to drop it onto the wet floor, and ignited the torch. The torch burned brightly, dancing light into the formerly dark alcove, and that's when I saw it. Hidden within the rock face was a small metal box with a button on it. I pressed the button and immediately heard the sound of sparking electricity, seemingly coming from within the rocks themselves, and then... the passageway meandered like a labyrinth through the underground rock. With each step, I felt more and more lost, and ready to turn back. Then up ahead, I saw a glimmer of light. I looked into the chasm, but all I could see were jagged rocks, darkness, and numerous health and safety concerns. The top of the stairs appeared to be a dead end, but the wooden board blocking my way and the muffled sounds of electricity suggested there was more to this passageway than met the eye. I placed my hands on the obstruction and pushed. I emerged into a dimly lit office that seemed to have been taken over by frighteningly active machinery, and from the familiar groaning of wood, I realized where I was. I solved your treasure hunt, Cecil. I hope you don't mind me taking this as my reward.
Murphy McCallan, you will pay for your insolence.
I have the third key now, Rackham. The treasure doesn't belong to you. I will get to the Belmore treasure before you.
Do you think this is a game, Murphy McCallan? You are toying with things beyond your understanding.
I think you're just nervous that I'm closer to finding the treasure than you are.
I will not be defeated by a mere mortal. Even if you claim the treasure, I will haunt you to the ends of the earth. There will be no escape from the terror and misery I will bring down upon you. Each time you sleep, I will turn your every dream into an unending nightmare.
I've survived your attempts to kill me twice now, Rackham. Maybe you're not as powerful as you think you are.
Even with the 3 keys, do you really think you can beat me to the treasure, Murphy? You are a mortal. I am an all-powerful spirit. I have looked upon the face of death, and still I remain here. Now it's time for you to look upon death too. Just as Cecil Belmore's blood poured from his body, so shall yours.
Rackham's telekinetic powers had dropped me onto the mill's conveyor belt. My wrists and ankles now tied with the same wire that was strewn about the mill, but at least the buzzsaw wasn't on. And then it got even worse. With inches to spare, the belt snagged on the warping wooden frame and gave me a chance of escape, acutely aware that it could catch again any moment and send me hurtling into the spinning blade. No matter how hard I pulled, I couldn't snap it. I considered touching the spinning blade, but I was quite attached to my hand, and I wanted to keep it that way. With my hands and feet bound, I couldn't reach my belongings. Carefully, I held the wire wrapped around my wrists against the spinning blade. It cut through them like butter, just like it would do to me if I couldn't get my ankles free. I didn't have the maneuverability to roll off the conveyor belt with my ankles tied, let alone contort my body enough to reach the buzzsaw with them. With seconds left, I hacked into the wires with the scissors and just managed to cut through them. With my legs free, I swung myself off the conveyor belt. I'd survived being cut in half, and now I had Cecil's key. That was it. All 3 skeleton keys. Now it was time to open the vault. I needed to place it in its keyhole. I needed to place it in its keyhole. The key didn't fit that keyhole. The key didn't fit that keyhole. I placed the first key into the mantelpiece. I placed the second key into the mantelpiece. I placed the third key into the mantelpiece and immediately heard a click. I didn't know what exactly I was going to discover beneath the house, but it was time to find out.
I wouldn't go down there if I were you.
This is the only way to save everyone in the house. I need to see what's down there.
A cry for help will make no sound, with secrets deep below the ground. Dare he walk into the black, for once he's in, he won't come back.
The staircase coiled down and down beneath the house, carved out of the very rock the house sat on. Lit only by flickering lanterns, I worked my way towards the green glow beckoning me at the end of the tunnel. Finally passing through the frame of a large metal door and into the Bellvoirs vault.